going on YouTube? It is Moosh here bringing you some hardpoint gameplay on Verge, one of the new maps from the Eclipse DLC of Black Ops 3. And today's topic of video is going to be crowdfunding in Call of Duty eSports. A lot of other eSports sees crowdfunding simply because the games do not come out every year like Call of Duty does. What they do, let's say CSGO for instance, they have monumental things in the game that do not change and the game is played for years on end. In CSGO's case, Dust 2, Inferno, the maps, the game does not change. They come out with new maps for people who don't play competitively, but the competitive maps stay the same. But for Call of Duty, the game changes every single year. Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Ghost 2 for instance. Like the new game comes out every year, and that leaves the developers to try to change the game simply because the community complained that the game was the same and the developers need to change it. Now, there are a lot of fixes to that. Like I said, they could just keep same maps, things like that. Come out with new ones, keep the same game, just all the developers come together. That's not going to happen, it's really unlikely. So for now, we are stuck with the crowdfunding issue of Activision. Now, a lot of competitive players have been complaining that there are a lack of tournaments, and that's not only like funding issues, that is like technology issues, the Bluetooth from the phone, messing with the Bluetooth of the controller on the PlayStation. A lot of things are going wrong, and it's just causing a lack of tournaments. Thankfully, though, the Season 1 finals for CWL did not have very many like things going wrong, but it was a smaller crowd, I believe. Probably around 100 people got in. And that's one of the main reasons there wasn't technical difficulties. But I don't know what they're going to do for Call of Duty Championships, and this brings me back to crowdfunding. Now, like I said, a lot of other esports has this, and it is in a lot of competitive players' minds wrong that Call of Duty does not have this yet. But the main reason they do not have crowdfunding as of yet is because they would need to make up for it. Say for Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Championships does happen, there's $1 million prize pool from Activision and they open up crowdfunding. Let's say the crowd puts $2.3 million, donates $2.3 million towards the prize pool. That is $3.3 million players could win. Now let's say the next year, when Infinity Ward comes out with the game, we're going to say Ghost 2 for today's purposes, but let's say only $2 million are going to be donated along with the $1 million prize pool. That is only $3 million, and that's a loss of $0.3 million. So what that tells Activision, what that tells their stockholders, their investors, everything like that, is that people are losing interest in the game. So what that is going to do is people who have stocks in Activision are likely to sell them because who wants to be part of something that people are losing interest in? So to be able to combat that, Activision would need to pull out-of-pocket money to make up for lost revenue. Now, in the minds of Activision, $0.3 million is probably not a lot. They probably make that every day just from supply drops alone, but it is still a lot of money, and it still is a hint to investors and people who have stocks in Activision that people are losing interest. And you know, people are losing interest, but the problem that comes in here is that older people, like the older audience of Call of Duty, lose interest because they played the game for so long. It doesn't really change year to year, which I'm not complaining about. It's just one of the main complaints of Call of Duty. And what happens is people that have been playing the game for so long lose interest in the game. But new people come in the game. New younger kids are like, oh, what's this game called Call of Duty? They play it with their friends, and they enjoy the game. But what happens there is they're so young that they cannot donate money that the people who left the scene has. So that causes lack of revenue. Now, granted, you might say, oh, well, people who left, the next year, people get older and they'll be able to spend. Yes, but here comes another problem. Let's say half the money, let's say $1 million is put in a prize pool. Half the money is for FaZe fans, half the money comes from Optic fans. So FaZe and Optic make it to the tournament championship, right? Then the championship match, and let's say Optic loses. Now, a lot of the people from Optic are going to be like, oh, well, we're not going to donate next year, so let's take half of that away. That drops $250,000 from the prize pool that players could make, and that is a lot of the reason why Activision does not open up for crowdfunding. And like the lawyers, there's a lot of legal things that go on behind the scenes that players don't know, and I'm not going to say I know all of them, but to make crowdfunding a thing, there is a lot of legal work that needs to be done, and to put the time and effort into doing this when there's not 100% certainty that they won't lose revenue because of it, it's not a good marketing idea for Call of Duty as a whole. Those are my thoughts and opinions on the matter. If I missed anything or you guys would like to add something, please feel free to put it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.